And here we are, off to the races once more, starting on issue 6. This is the first page that is actually inked. I've described this before, but if you're new here, with my issues, the first page is done in the coloring stage, so this first inked page is actually page 2 of issue 6. You can see with the blue lines, I've tightened them up so you can kind of see what's going on before I get them done inked. After the video, I will show pictures of the process of transitioning from regular pencils, doing the tighter pencils, and then the stages of inking. I will put those actually in between the video parts. I actually did this page in 3 different parts, so it might be a little jarring when you see those pages pop up, or I stop talking. So getting into it, this is the first page. It's so much tighter than the previous issues. I'm really working on making everything more tighter, more concise, the dialogue better. I even put these narration boxes that you can see. I'm really excited about this issue because these first 6 pages turned out awesome. I'll probably be showing the inking process for the next few videos anyway. I'm also going to be throwing up just a video of just the inking, me not talking, with a random song thrown in there. I'll put that up on Thursday. It'll actually be up on Monday on my Patreon, so if you're interested in that, you can go throw a buck my way on my Patreon page. The link is down below for that, and I think this week turned out really exceptionally well, and it's got a non-point song in, so you know I'm down for it. So. Anyway, issue 6 is off to the races. Like I said, I'm enjoying how it's turning out so far. This page being inked right now just turned out so much better than I was imagining. I'm also using just a brush and ink. When I get to this middle section, you'll see I switched to a Pentel brush pen, but that's only for the middle section. All the other stuff is either done with this brush, or a few of the boxes were done, or the straight lines were done with a micron, but I'm trying to limit that because I want it to be mostly done with brush. I'm just going for that look with this issue, so it's kind of a culmination of everything I've learned in the previous 5 issues, and I really want that to be shown off for the end of issue 6, or end of issue 5, where these preview pages are going to be going in. And along with that, the Kickstarter was successfully funded this week. It knocked it out of the park. If you're looking at doing a Kickstarter, I keep forgetting how much work they are before going into it. But they are an extremely lot of work if you're looking to hit a certain goal. If you're just throwing a project up there, say $400 or so, to help with printing costs, most likely you're gonna have you don't have to do a lot of work. But with this goal, considering I'm unknown other than my previous 4 issues, this was kind of a gamble on my part. I should have broken it up on 2 projects, but I really felt like it was strong enough that I could knock it out with one, and then I didn't have to wait for another Kickstarter to clear. But I'm super excited. We ended it with 50 backers, just shy of $1,800, and like it got 2 massive boosts right there near the end. One was the Friday prior to that, and I basically went through my entire Facebook friends list and basically messaged everybody. I had messaged a few of them a year before when I first started with my first Kickstarter. A lot of them I hadn't talked to since then, but I figured with the trade, if they were going to gamble on my story and put up their own money to get into the story, I figured this would be the best option for it. So I literally sat there all Saturday, emailed everybody on my friends list telling them, hey, I've got this project going on. It's a story I believe in. I've been working hard at it for the last year. I hope you have a second to check out the project at least, and if you can't, share it with some friends and whatnot. So got the first big boost off of that, and that was very welcoming. Actually crossed the finish line last Saturday while I was emailing people, so I felt really good about it. What I hadn't accounted for is when I set up the Kickstarter, I was looking to do just the regular 100 run for the issue 5, and I was planning on getting 50 of the trade books. When I was sitting there calculating like how many I would have left as backstock to sell at cons and whatnot, it was becoming clear that I would have probably about 20 left over out of the 50. I think 30 people picked up the trades and about 30 people picked up issue 5, which was awesome. I'm super excited to get those done, get the books made, and get those to people. For the people to taking a chance on me, for them to see how good these books are that I've been making for this last year, and then for my regular people that have been coming back to the story. I was just super excited after that round last Saturday. I think Monday I went back and emailed a bunch of those people again and was like, listen, I know we haven't talked in about a year. I know I asked you to back the first Kickstarter. Didn't hear anything from you. I know I asked you to back this Kickstarter. Didn't hear anything. But I saw in my notifications that you did check this message, so I'm just simply putting this out there that I don't want to be the guy that comes around asking for money every couple months. And I'd actually like to start a dialogue. So when I did that, a bunch of people, and I mean a bunch, I would get an email sent out to about 20 people, and probably 10 to 15 people would respond, and we'd start striking up a conversation. So that whole Monday, I was emailing and answering questions from people, and like a lot of people had forgotten about this weekend because when I sent out the original emails on Friday, a lot of people were just getting off work or something and caught the message and had planned on getting back to it, but we know how email works and we kind of forget about it. So when I was telling people that, hey, I don't want to be that guy asking for handouts every couple months, a lot of people remembered that they wanted to back it and just didn't take the time, so they were actually looking over it, and they were looking at the bonus plastic card I had for the Kickstarter and was asking questions about it and whatnot, and just fielding a bunch of questions over the whole thing. And by the end of Wednesday, I was sitting at just shy of $1,800. I put a couple stretch goals in that I wasn't sure if I was going to hit, but with that final boost, got to the point where I'm putting the covers for 1 through 4, the original covers and the variant covers pages into the book. I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be about 132 pages for this first trade, which is awesome. I'm so pleased with how well it did, and I'm so blown away with the support that all my friends have given me, even the ones that I've met along this whole process of doing the Kickstarters. I just can't thank everybody enough. Another awesome thing that happened when I was emailing all these people, I was emailing a couple of my old college professors, and one of my college professor has an autistic son, and she was asking if it would be an alright story for him, and I was like, yeah, it'd probably be alright. And I wasn't, so he's in 7th grade, and like they have a lot of social issues that they have to deal with him and whatnot. And I was like, you know what? It might actually be very good for him. I'd still read through it, make sure you feel comfortable with it, because in the next few issues, it's probably going to get a little bit more adult side. There's going to be, there's a reason that this arc is going to be the love arc. Without getting into too many more details, I was like, I feel comfortable if you checked it out first. I was like, you don't have to donate or anything. When I get these trades in, I will earmark one of them for you. I'll send it to you so you can check it out. If you feel it's right for your son, let him check it out too. And by the end, I was done talking to her. She had already pledged, and I was like, I was blown away because she was one of my creative writing teachers in college, and I had done a whole semester with her writing this whole story, and which is funny enough is going to be the next story I'm going to be working on. But I didn't want this story to be judged or graded or anything like that, because this story actually means a lot to me. And it's not my current comic series. I want to. This is probably gonna get very confusing, but the story I was writing in college has been one I've been working on and off over the last decade and a half or so. So I was starting to actually put wireframes down and write the story out, and had a pretty good base that I was gonna turn in, and it got about 3 days before the end of the class, and we had to turn everything in a few days, and I wrote an entire new story. I think it had to be like 10-15 pages long. I rewrote an entire new story and turned it in, and she was blown away because it had seemed like it was something I had already turned in, because it didn't need much directional steering. Oh, this is that page I was telling you about, that this is the first hour and a half done. These are my Snapchats, so if you want to follow me on Snapchat, you can see the progress in real time of these pages happening. You can follow me on Snapchat. My username is Samuraiox. But getting back to the story, so I I wrote a new story in a couple days, turned it in, and she thought I was messing with her because the story that I had turned in was on par with the one that I had been working on for months, and I was like, nah, I whipped it up in a few days. Like, I've had the idea, but never really put tread to the road, so to speak, on it. But it turned out awesome. She was blown away. She really wanted to read the other story, but I was like, that story's not ready to be out of the cage yet, and kind of shelved it for the most part. We'll get to that down the road, but so she was one of my good teachers in college, and I was just blown away that she wanted to check out my project for her son and whatnot. I'm really excited to see if her son likes it or anything like that, because I think it really would speak well to them, especially 7th grade. That was when I was starting to have issues with suicide. If you followed this story up to now, issue 3 deals with suicidal tendencies and thoughts and whatnot. I'm also going to be starting to release that on my blogs starting this week. Later today, that first issue should be up. I will put the link for that down below as well. So yeah, the Kickstarter was an amazing success. It was a lot more work than I was expecting to do, but it was rewarding to see that many more of my friends and people that I've met along the way definitely wanted to see me succeed. So just everybody, if you're listening to this, if you supported the Kickstarter, even if you shared it with friends and didn't actually help financially, like, from the bottom of my heart, thanks so much. So along with all this talking to people, I'm actually going to be emailing a lot of them again to sign up for my email newsletter, so we can actually keep in touch a little bit better, and they can see what I have going on in my world of art, like, all the time. So I think that'll be probably the easiest way to keep in touch with a lot of them. I think talking to people on a one-on-one level is the easiest way to make sure your Kickstarter succeeds. When I was starting these Kickstarters, I had a few, when I was on my second and third one, I had a lot of people asking me how to get their Kickstarter funded, and I was like, you just have to talk to a lot of people that you just know. Like, people want to help you succeed, but some of them might not know that you're trying to take these leaps and bounds that you are. And I know I've met a lot of resistance from other people saying like they don't want to beg, and they're too proud to do that. And it's like, well, you have two options. You can help your story get out there so people can read it, or you can hope that people find it. And in the way the world's set up nowadays, it's a lot harder for people to find stories if they're not aware of them. So making people aware of them is just one way to help your story find some life that it might not have had a chance to if you didn't get a hold of these people. So I think it's a chance to take this opportunity and tell people about your story, and I think that means the world to you much more than having to swallow your pride and ask for a little help. Considering your project, like, if you want it to succeed, like, I don't see a problem with asking for help to make people aware of what you're doing, and giving them the opportunity to help you and see you succeed. So along with that, and now I'm starting to gear up for this next con. These trades are going to be a big help on that front. I'm wondering how much typical tables are at much the other ones. I know the big ones like Wizard World, when they come through Iowa, it's about $325 I think this year for a table. I'm going to be doing Minneapolis and Des Moines, so that's about $750 or $700 for the tables at those two cons. So I'd be interested to know if you're willing to say how much tables are at other cons that other people are doing. There are a few other little cons. I know the one that I did back in November was about $40 for a table. I think Wizard World is obviously, just because it has the draws of the celebrities and whatnot, that they're able to charge that much for an Artist Alley's table. So I'm excited about this new con though. I think things are going to be going awesome. Also, the plastic card sets are being made as I tell you this right now. I got a hold of him, and I had planned this out last year. I was like, I'm probably not going to be able to afford the whole set, but if I can kick enough to cover one of the sets and have you hold on to the other ones. He's like, nah man, I'll knock a little off, you pay half up front, half when you get them, and we'll call it a done deal. And I was like, you know what, yeah, I can do that. And then when the Kickstarter actually got funded and it was over my intentional goal, I was like, yes, I finally have enough to pay off those, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, which is a huge relief. Also, I'm super excited to see those cards finally in person. I know I have the one, but I think it's just going to be more whelming seeing the whole set. So this week has been a lot of working on various things. Last Thursday, when I was at St. Patty's Day tabling in a local bar, I actually got a couple commissions to do a couple pieces for friends' birthdays and whatnot. So since it was rushed order, I did a quick commission the other day. If you follow my Snapchat, you see that. I won't put it in this video, but I'll probably throw it in next week's video, just because it's their birthday this week and I don't want to spoil it if by some chance she stumbles upon this video. So that was a fun time. I think I'm probably going to open up the door for a few of those commissions, probably at cons for sure. But I did the sweet commission of Flash and the Green Lantern, and I like that a lot. So this last week was a lot of working on these pages, in between working on all the Kickstarter stuff. Went from the regular pencils on these 6 pages of Bristol, tightened up the pencils so I knew exactly what I wanted shaded and whatnot. And then finally we're on to the ink stage. I'm gonna hope and try for getting 2 pages done each day, so hopefully by Wednesday I will be finished with these 6 pages so I can scan them in, color them, and get the issue 5 finished up and off to the printer. My printer is actually on vacation right now, so I got about this week to work on it before we can actually get all this put together and done up so I can get those proofs made and sent to me. So looking forward to that. Like I said earlier, I'm updating my website again. I kind of fell off the wheel when I started making these videos because I put more precedence on these videos and updating as the progress was going along. But now I feel like I'm in a much better spot that I can update the website a little bit more. I'm not going to be doing the behind the scenes stuff. If you want to hear the behind the scenes stuff, I do usually put a little of that stuff back in the pages that I put up on Patreon, so if you're interested in those, you can check that out. Most of all the pages that I've put on Patreon are free, so even if you just follow me, you can see those. Let me know that you're following me by liking a few of these pages or whatnot, so I can see who is following me and get a good idea of those. You don't have to donate. Like I said, most of everything I put up is free for everyone, but I have been doing a little exclusives. I think I'll probably do a exclusive sketch for Patreon at least once a month. Come to think about it, I might actually do an Easter one, belated Easter one this week, so we'll see. Also, we got snow this week. It's been snowing on and off this week. Haven't been able to work on my van, which is kind of frustrating, but hopefully this week it'll turn around. I also like the layout of a lot of these panels on this page. There are a lot of eccentric panels, not your nice cookie cutter designs. I'm really trying to get out of my comfort zone on this issue, and I think that's working very well so far. I really liked how this first page turned out, and I really set the bar high for the next few pages for sure. And then finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about seeing Batman vs. Superman. I'm not going to say any spoilers or anything like that, but I've seen such a wild thing on the internet the last few days concerning it. And it comes from the critics a few days before just bashing and battering the hell out of the movie, and then people actually seeing it opening night, enjoying it, and I think it was about a 50-50 split on whether people liked it or whether people hated it. Now, I'm not a huge DC fan, and I don't really have a horse in the race. I just like seeing different stories, thinking about things in different ways and whatnot. But I saw it opening night and walked out and enjoyed the movie. I talked to a few friends, and they pointed out a few things that I might have missed, and I saw both sides of the coin, where I could see how people enjoyed it, but I also see a few things that and complaints that people had for the movie. Here, this shows off the next stage. This was another hour and a half in, and now I only have these last 2 panels to do. That took another half hour. So with that, the video is winding down, a few more minutes, but there's this, I know I said this a couple videos ago, and it's Casey Neistat quote, but it's like, it really rung true with the whole Batman vs. Superman thing, where it's much easier to be a mean person than it. Being mean is easy, but being a good person is hard, and that's why people trying to be nice will always get a better vote in my book than people just being mean. And I think that had a lot to do with this movie. If people enjoyed it, I don't see why people go out of their way to ruin it for other people. We're all on this giant rocket ship floating through the air, flying around the sun, and if somebody finds enjoyment in it, why not just let them? Like, trying to persuade somebody that they actually hated something when they actually got some good enjoyment out of something doesn't seem to make sense. And I guess I could be on that, in that parallel a few times, and I mean, I'm only human, so I will falter from time to time, but I don't know, just something about that Batman, everybody wanting it to fail, it seemed like, but I don't know, to me it seems like an alright movie, and there's a lot of things that it did well. I think I have more issues with Snyder as a director than anything in that movie, which maybe we'll get into that some other time, but I've got a few more links that I want to throw down below. Early in the video, I hope you saw it, it was my old Caddyshack gopher. It was a video I posted probably 5 or 6 years ago. It popped up in my Facebook feed, and I just wanted to share it because I figured this week of all, that video just made me laugh, and I hope it made a couple of other people laugh. A couple other links down below. Artist I follow called WLOP, it's WLOP, put up a painting of their painting the guard. It was just awesome to see their process of making this video. You can also follow them on Patreon. You don't have to donate, you can just follow them. I think they have a pretty good structure. They do a lot of selling stuff on Gumroad, so if you're looking to do things like that, definitely worth giving a follow and seeing what they're doing. Also, Gaz's latest, it's a long one, but it's so good. I know I've been pimping his last videos like crazy, but they are so worth watching. Like, check out his last few videos, because dealing with this whole Kickstarter thing and doing con stuff, like, he has the correct, I don't know, outlook, but more than that, everything he's saying rings true for me, especially with all that stuff. So now that the video is done, check out the links below. My Patreon's down there, the website. You can read at least the first 2 issues of my comic I Never Forgot down there. Like I said, Thursday I will be putting a short video of this whole inking process with some songs behind that. I think that's going to do it for me. I hope everybody's day is treating them well. We'll catch you next week for sure. Definitely more inking process going on. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Hope your guys' Easter went well. Love you guys, and I'll catch you later. Peace.